Hey y'all, whether it's morning, evening, or afternoon, I'm just glad that you guys had decided to vibe with E. Yes, the one and only E. Hey y'all, hope y'all feeling amazing, doing amazing, and just being amazing overall. And if not, it's okay, it's alright, my friend, because bad times don't last forever. After every storm, there is a rainbow, and you're getting closer and closer every day to that rainbow, that pot of gold, the light in the tunnel, whichever one you prefer, my friend. Okay? Okay. Hey guys. First and foremost, I want to say happy Wednesday. I know you guys are probably wondering where have I been? And before we get into that, I just want to say first that I really, really, really appreciate you guys for still being able to listen to the vibes of the day, check out the old ones, stay in the loop and all those things like that. Um, I hope this month of February, even though it been is short, like I said, when we started the first 5 of February, this month was surrounded by nothing but love, soft power, loving yourself without losing yourself. And I want to say this: I know we have missed like two big episodes impacting February, and I want to say to you guys, I really hope that you still were able to identify like your soft power, still being able to level yourself without losing yourself within this, this loophole of February. Because every time we hear February, people always say, it's Valentine's Day, Lover's Day, and you have to have somebody to love on you. That's not the case. And also, I hope you all were able to experience the enrichment of Black history. Black history, it has made 100 years since Black history has been around. It has been honored and things of that nature. So I really hope you guys were also able to like dig deep into Black history, but also to love yourself without losing yourself. Because as the new year still comes into play, we still want to identify things that are best for us, as well as learning how to enter chapters in our life without us having to lose ourselves and still being able to love on ourselves within this soft boy, soft girl, whatever era. So, yes, y'all. So, before we get into it, it is a twist. I know it is the last Wednesday of the month, and usually we will have the Wellness 101 lesson. However, Wellness 101 will be on the back burner as well. So, next month, you guys will get a Wellness 101 lesson from March. Um, So I am going to do one of the episodes that I wanted to do for you guys that I didn't get to do due to me being absent. I'm a deep dive into why I was absent as well. But I just want y'all to know that I appreciate you all so very much for still even being concerned, because I have seen some the numbers still were going up even though I haven't dropped anything. Received some texts, some DMs and things like that. So I sincerely appreciate you all so very much. But I want to share with y'all. I had to write it down, y'all, because this is like it's tough. It is tough. But before I get to it too, if you're new here, welcome, welcome, welcome. And for the ones that are not new to this but true to this, hey y'all, what's poppin'? So before we continue, I just want to share something real. The past couple of weeks has been heavy for me due to a loss of my family. I had to take a pause to grieve and to simply be present, and honestly, that's soft power in action. Sometimes we have to take pauses on things, step back from things so we can deal with what we're going through. If you're new here, I mentioned a few times on here that my family and I took care of my uncle, and he was with us for the past 3 years, and unfortunately he passed the day before Valentine's Day. And the day before Valentine's Day was Galentine's Day, and that was Friday the 13th. And when he passed before Valentine's Day, which was his favorite holiday, as well as vibing out with guests turned 1 years old. So it has been hard. I want to say it's been hard. It's been days where my family and I are, you know, making the best out of it, having our moments of things of that nature. But I want you guys to understand that whatever you have going on in your life, please, like I've been saying over and over and over again, your mental health matters. If you have to take the time to step back from things, people, and others, please do so for your mental being, as well as if you were to lose a loved one or you feel like you're losing yourself. Please take the time to step back and prioritize your needs and your well-being, because if you don't do that, it's not going to be good. So, yeah. I had to step back. It was very hard. And I said, I was going to actually come back around in March, but then something told me, try to come back. Surprise, the people who come back before March began, you still give them a little bit of insight of this month within the soft power and stuff, but also giving some encouragement, but also to help myself in this process of grief. So, yes, I want to thank you all so very much for your concerns, your prayers, things like that. I really, really do appreciate it. And this is also, I want to say, Vibing with E also helped me so many times, within so many times in my life where I felt like I wasn't able to talk to no one physically, like sitting down, really having a conversation with somebody physically. Because I know it sounds crazy, but sometimes when I'm here from the mic, most of the time, all my creative thoughts and styles, everything just come flow naturally. And I felt like it was needed for me to do so. So I know I missed 2 weeks of February, but that's okay. That's all right. I'm back. And we're going to continue I'm going to continue to give you the vibes of the day as much as I can. And we're going to rock out. But I want y'all to understand that when it comes to anything in your life, please give yourself the time to step back. Grief, do whatever you have to do because it's important. Your mental health matters. And like I say too, if you're not on your P's and Q's, like, if you're not in the best mindset for yourself, you cannot go out there and help the people you love, because if your cup is on empty, how can you fill up somebody else's cup when you have nothing in yours? So yeah. So yeah, y'all, had to take a step back, but I'm back. It's still a little bit hard, but I'm still going through the motions and still making the best out of it as much as I can and taking my time, but most importantly, spending time with the ones I love the most. And I want you guys to understand that as well when we deep dive into today's vibe of the day with helping you understand the importance of soft power and why is it important for you to keep on loving yourself and not losing yourself within the process of whatever you have going on. So, yes, y'all. So as we close out February, we're leaning deeper into soft power, especially how it shows up not only in love, but in how we treat ourselves during hard seasons. And this one connected with me so much because I'm going through it and I know someone out there may be going through it. So, even though this is February was supposed to be the time of happiness, love, and grace, we're still going to honor that, but we also have to honor too those barriers that we don't really talk about. And there'd be situations where like, I'm looking for love, or I'm trying to love with myself again, all those things like that. But we have to create the boundaries for that. So, yeah, so Love Month isn't about perfection. It's about honesty, awareness, and intentions. Okay? So, I'm going to say it again for you guys. As we close out February, we're leaning deeper into soft power, especially how it shows up not only in love, but in how we treat ourselves during hardships and hard seasons. This week's vibe is about understanding that loving deeply doesn't mean overgiving, self abandoning, or ignoring your limits. You can fully you can love fully and protect your emotional energy. You can care deeply and still say no. You can show up without pouring from an empty cup. You can pause without losing your power. Going back to, you can show up without pouring from an empty cup. So I know it's kind of like, we're gonna deep dive into a little bit more. But this season is reminding us that boundaries don't block love, they protect it. So as I mentioned too, like as we're closing out of February, as we enter March, we will still talk about, soft power and love. And that theme will be a little bit more about centering you, because as we said, this year we're still doing for us. We're being selfish, we're taking control, but most importantly, we're popping out when we want to, but protecting everything that involves around us as well. So this week's challenge, y'all, I want you to ask yourself, where am I over giving instead of choosing balance? That could be within a relationship, situations or patterns that you have been seeing where you're practicing love with limits. And this is impacting with this understanding that soft power means honoring your needs just as much as you honor others. So this week I want you to challenge yourself to just think and sit back and see, where am I pouring all my energy into? And if it's a good thing or not. And where do I need to set the boundaries at within this? And why I need to do this for myself, because as we, like I said, this year is all about self. This year is all about you. So while you're doing that, while we're all doing that, we still have to keep in mind protecting our peace, popping out when we want to, being selfish, and taking our time. We're taking control of what matters to us. So hopefully those thoughts come into play with y'all. But yes, so today, Vibing with E weekly check, where meaningful conversations meet growth and real life connections. So, y'all, before we get into deeply, today's episode would have been 144 episodes, but instead I'm going to take it back to week 2, because this one I feel like will be a good one to help y'all understand a little bit more. And also this one helped me so much, because this episode was actually supposed to be out the week of Valentine's Day week, so that February 11th. But it's okay. So I'm going to give y'all the episode, then we're going to jump into vibing out with guest portion, and then we're going to come back. So we have 142 episodes, and we're going to touch base on love without overgrowing, setting emotional boundaries. Okay, but let's get into it first with vibing out with guests, because it's some stuff I want to get that announcement on, and then we're going to touch base into the root cause of today's vibe of the day. So vibing out with guests, y'all, we have made 1 year and we are in the process of a soft pause. So vibing out with guests had officially turned 1 year old on Saturday, February 14, 2026, on Valentine's Day. Vibing out with guests is still proof that every story, no matter where it starts, has the power to inspire others. And this season continues to grow, even if we on the road or not. Because every episode, every vibing out with guest appearance, all that is a reminder of why we start having these real conversations, as well as these real conversations had helped people who sit on the throne with me and who listen to inspire others, uplift, and connect. So Vibing Out with Guests have turned 1 year old, and I'm super, super excited about that. I'm blessed. I thank you all so very much for the guests that has been on the show. We had a total of 28 guest appearances. I'm so thankful for that. On top of all the listeners, on top of anyone that has felt connected with any of the guests, period. So the future guests out there, I cannot wait to vibe out with you guys soon and things of that nature. I really, really do appreciate you all so very much, because if it wasn't for y'all, vibing out with guests wouldn't be where it's at now, on top of it even continue to grow and me still being able to pour in ideas even if I'm on a break. So yeah. So 1 year of real stories, 1 year of healing conversations, 1 year of growth, honesty, and connections. I'm beyond grateful for every guest appearance, listener, and supporter, like I said again, who has helped build this space. I really, really hope that you guys had enjoyed your Valentine's Day week. Like I said, for me, it was pretty hard, but I made the best out of it for my uncle, because that was his favorite holiday. And I just was like, what he wanted was 3 red balloons and a teddy bear. It was so hard for me to find the big teddy bears. And then Amazon, I was kind of fishy on buying it, because I'm like, I love Amazon, but if it don't look right, I don't want it. So the teddy bear was hard, but I did get the 3 balloons, and them 3 balloons, y'all, is still standing strong in our living room. So I'm like, okay, that's a good sign. And I made the best out of it, y'all. I made chocolate covered strawberries, because usually this is around the time where I buy chocolate covered strawberries from all the black owned businesses that I know. I was like, but things happen, so I was like, oh my gosh, now I gotta learn how to do this myself, and it came out decent. I give myself a 7 out of 10. But, it's still was finding ways to make the best out of it with my family. And I will say this was the first Valentine's Day that it hit different, and there will be more to come that will hit different. But I do thank God for having my family and I together to still be in the spirit and still shine a light on Valentine's Day for my uncle as well. For vibing out with guests, I really didn't do much. I did said all my weird stuff on social media and things like that, and I didn't get a chance to make a video packing that, and I probably won't get a chance to do it no time soon, but I'm gonna say it on here. Vibing out with guests has honestly helped a lot of people that I see, has came across my timeline, has DM me and stuff like that, because it's a lot of people out there that you never know are going through the same things that you're going through, especially for the men. Shout out to all the men that has been on Vibing Out with Guests. I really, really, really appreciate you guys as well as the women. But it's something about the men's conversations that had a lot of men in my DM saying, like, this really hit home for me, or this touched me in so many different ways, because you never know who's going through the same thing you're going through. And I'm big on don't judge a book by its cover. If you didn't get the chance to really sit down and read the book, read a few pages and stuff. And if you don't like it, okay, close the book and put it back where you got it from. And that's how I feel about people. And sometimes too, I had to learn that, all energy is not good energy. And even right now, I would say too, like, my uncle had taught me a lot of patience and taught me like the real definition of love and respect and things of that nature that I carry with me in my personal and professional life. Sometimes they like, you gotta fight bees with honey and all that stuff, and I'm like, you don't know what a person's going through. So you're trying your hardest, not to be an asshole or anything of that nature. So yeah, I would like to say I just liked everyone. I love when everyone came on here to vibe out with guests and to speak on whatever it was, and it was a no judgment zone. This is a free, this is a free open space, as well as with vibing with E. Everything is raw and uncut. It's coming from the heart, because why would you want someone that's beating around the bush and sugarcoated things? No, you want to be able to listen and hear from someone that's being real and not, the cookie, what's it, the cookie crumber of it, the cookie cutter, all that. No, let's be straight up, let's be real, because this is how we're having the conversations, and this is how we feel connected. And that's how I felt with vibing out with guests, was the same way with vibing with E. Even though we're not in the same room or anything with each other, we're still have a connection with each other, because I feel connected, and the conversation has me, and it helped me, and it heals people. So yeah, I thank you all so very much. But at this time, if I'm not with guests, we'll be taking a short break. Guests, yes, we'll be taking another short break again. And the reason why too is like I am a little bit nervous too to speak with guests a little bit due to what's going on. But I'm not gonna lie to y'all. In mid-March, towards the end of March, the beginning of April, the books will be open again. I promise, fingers crossed. And also too, y'all, even with me going to school and working with the students still, yeah, it's getting to the nitty gritty. So once Wednesday, April 15th comes, that's my last day with working with the children. I think I have some balance too with having some more guest appearances, and graduation is coming up soon, Friday, May 15th. So yeah, it's so crazy. I just thought about that. My internship ends April 15th. Graduation is May 15th. Vibing with E turns 3 on June 15th. My birthday is July 15th. Nothing's going on in August, and September 15th is my uncle's birthday. So that's so crazy. I think I got to play the lottery on that number. I don't know. But 3 and something about then this year, y'all, was so crazy to me. I didn't mention to y'all, but I've been seeing 3 so much since the beginning of the year has started. And it was so crazy because I had put on my notes on my main page being funny. It was like, I'm throwing 3s all year because I don't know what it is. It was like something just like 3 times in a row. Like things would just happen 3 times in a row, whether it was good, bad, whatever. But it's like something about that number 3 was just hitting. So yeah, I'm real big on numbers. I hope you guys like. Not gonna say y'all real big on numbers, but like if y'all see numbers over and over again, look it up. Be like, what the hell does this mean? So yeah, but yes, y'all. As of this time, vibing out with guests, we're taking a little mini break. Guest spots will reopen mid to late March. Some let's they will open up in mid late March, because sometimes soft power also means that resetting the vision so it can return stronger, and that's what I'm doing right now. So please remember, sometimes soft power involves taking a break to recharge and return stronger. And we're going to deep dive into that when it comes to our boundaries, things like that. So remember, Vibing Out with Guests remains a platform for genuine conversations, healing, reflection, and growth. I encourage you all to keep on doing what's best for y'all, doing what's necessary, and please keep a lookout on for how Vibing Out with Guests will come through. And so stay tuned to what I have next and who you may see come next. And if that's you, Come on. All you gotta do is hit the link tree in my bio, or you can look up Vibing with E, link tree, and all the forms I think are going to pop up. So yeah. So the quote of the week / the day is softness isn't strength. Softness is strength that knows when to pause. Softness is strength that knows when to pause. And as always, y'all, please stay connected. Follow the podcast page or IG at vibing.with.e. And this week, use the hashtag to share how you're choosing to balance love this week. Okay, hashtag vibing with E. And with love, grace, and intentions, E, your host of Vibing with E, and Vibing Out with Guests. So let's get into it, y'all. So Vibing with E weekly check where meaningful conversations meet growth and real life conversations. So today's episode, we're going back to week 2, the week that I have missed in honor of the week to celebrate Valentine's Day and Vibing Out with Guests. So we're going to end off February with the second part of softness, the second part of soft power, loving yourself without losing yourself. Okay, so this Wednesday, we're going to call it a reset because we're resetting things a little bit differently. But, I'm back and it's impacting wellness. It's still kind of impacting the wellness 101 Wednesday. Sort of, kind of, but y'all get the drift. So today on February 25th, 2026, today's episode is about love, without giving up, setting emotional boundaries. This episode is for anyone who loves hard, shows up deeply, and sometimes forgets themselves in the process. We're talking about emotional boundaries, what they are, why they matter, and how to set them without feeling guilty about it. So in this episode, we will cover the difference between loving and forgiving, signs you may be emotionally overextended, why boundaries are an act of self-love, how to protect your peace and relationships, and loving others without losing yourself. So guys, this episode is a reminder that love should feel nourishing and not drowning. Tune in today at 5:30 for grounding your conversations on balance, boundaries, and healthy love. So y'all are tuned in. Either of y'all tune in, like I say, morning, evening, afternoon, whatever. I'm just glad you got a chance to tune in because this is very important. So yes, y'all, this was the episode that I wanted to touch base on before the week of Valentine's because this is very important. This was very important. I feel like this was important too to set the tone off for the end of February, even though things have been a little bit backwards, because this episode even hit me so hard when I had to look back at my notes. I was like, hold up, because I was like, look, I'm gonna go straight into the wellness episode for the day, but I was like, hold up, no, love without overgrowing and setting emotional boundaries is most definitely important when it comes to this soft power within loving yourself without losing yourself. In this season hit me so much because we all been through it. We're all going through it. So why not touch base on this and deep dive into it? Because you never know, like, some of you guys may not have a good Valentine's Day, or you guys are still in the works of navigating what love is, how should I love is, setting the boundaries and things of that nature. But nevertheless, y'all, like I said, we're still going to make the best out of it. But, while we're making the best out of it, we're setting the boundaries. We're popping out when we want to. We're being selfish. We're taking control, and we're not letting no one overstimulate us, but most importantly, overstep the boundaries that we have for ourselves. Okay, so let's get into it. Okay, guys, as always, let's get into it. Every vibe of the day is something special, and I really hope you guys enjoy it. So I want you guys to sit back, relax, and enjoy hearing my voice. Whether you're on the go or you're moving around, turn me up on your PCs, your speakers, your Alexas, your Google Dots, your iPads, your MacBooks, your PCs, all those things, because every vibe of the day is something special. Okay, and if you're new here, I hope you guys enjoy, and I thank you also very much for tapping into Vibing with E, as well as the OGs. I thank you also very much as well for being here and still being here until this day. So let's get into it. We break down every vibe of the day with repeating the vibe of the day, giving the definitions, the 5 W's, repeat the quote of the day, and then I do the thank you for tapping in vibe. But now I'm doing it like thank you for vibing in instead of thank you for tapping in, because I was like, hey, that's a little different, So let's do something different. But yes, let's get into it. Hold on, guys, because something's on here that doesn't belong on my notes. So I have to take that off real quick. Let's see. Okay, guys, so now we are good to go. And I'm about to start it off for you guys. Okay, so now let's get into it. So today's vibe of the day, episode 142, is on love with love without overgrowing, setting emotional boundaries. Setting emotional boundaries. Now, when we're thinking about setting emotional boundaries, we always think of, okay, I'm setting my boundaries, but we never really hit the real topic on the emotions and how do emotions and boundaries sit together. But before we get into the definition of it, I want to say this. Like I said in the beginning, you will learn a lot about yourself when you get older, especially when it comes to your emotions and how you feel about things. What I'll say is that it was very hard for me to even make the announcement of what had been going on, because like when you're a private person, you don't want everybody in your business. You don't want, you setting the boundaries. And my emotional boundaries too was like, I'm keeping it very simple because it is hard. Even with losing a person or going through anything, it's hard. Like it's very hard for you to even be able to say, you know what? Okay, let me still proceed to do what I'm doing. No, because the crazy thing, y'all, is when I have got the news, stuff like that, I said, okay, vibing with E is going to help me get through this, while I'm going through it. But I was like, I was scared, y'all, to even put the camera up like this, y'all. Like, I was thinking to myself, I was like, okay, I could still do it. But I'm like, no, it's too soon. And that's when I had to learn that my emotional boundaries, sometimes I cannot work myself to death when my emotions are through the roof. And that's why I had to set the boundary for myself. Like, you know what? Take a break for a while. It's okay because it's needed. In this process of me learning soft power, as well as you guys, within loving myself without losing myself, I had to understand that if I was to keep on pushing the episodes out for you guys, I think I wouldn't give y'all the emotions, let alone the real hardcore message that y'all need, because it wouldn't be sincere, because my emotions through the roof and I ain't set the boundaries for myself. Like, it's okay to take a break. It's okay to step back from things that is needed. It's okay for you to say, you know what, this is not for me right now. I can't do this, and this is why. So that's a little snippet I want y'all to guys think about as we deep dive into it, because we're in this process of we're loving without overgiving. I'm loving, but I don't want to overgive my love. And by me doing that, I'm going to set my emotional boundaries today with my personal life, especially my professional life. When you are a person that loves so much, or you love something so much, we have to understand that I'm loving, but I feel like I'm over giving. I'm doing too much love. I'm loving without I'm doing a little bit too much. It's like I'm over giving it. Like I'm doing too much. I'm over giving what I'm doing. But now we're learning that, we can still love, but we don't have to do too much within it. And that's why it's important to set the boundaries within our family, our friends, our career, even within ourselves. Sometimes we are our biggest critics before someone else can do it to us. We don't even really think, like, dang, I love this, that, but I feel like I'm not setting the emotional boundaries that I need for myself while I'm going through what I'm going through. Even though I'm in this space in my life where soft power is key, I'm loving myself without losing myself. But I need to understand too, I need to set these boundaries for myself too, physically, mentally, but emotionally too, because your emotions, your wellness, all that matters as well. Within everything we go through, you have to make sure your emotions is where you want them to be and not all over the place, because people are going to start saying this and that. We don't want that. But I want to tell you this, my friend, regardless, if you have to watch this, listen to this, whatever, 3, 4, 5 times for you to understand the importance of, you have to know love without over giving, for you to set the emotional boundaries for yourself is needed, do so, because this is for you. We're still in this time zone of we're learning soft power. We want to be in our soft boy, soft girl era, whatever. But in order for us to do that, we have to learn that. We have to love ourselves, but we don't need to overgive it. We need to set these emotional boundaries with understanding that, you know what? My emotions is telling me something else, that's where your heart and stuff is involved. My heart's telling me, I might step back, and my brain is telling you keep going. And it's so hard when your heart and your mind is telling you two different things, But you have to listen to what matters most, and that's your emotions as you're setting these boundaries up for yourself. Okay? So, what does love without overgiving, really means? Love without overgiving means offering care, compassion, and connections without satisfying your emotional well-being. It's the practice of loving others while staying rooted in yourself. Overgiving happens when your love turns into self-neglect. When you give past your limits, ignoring your needs, or feel responsible for others' emotions. Loving without overgiving, meaning honoring your capabilities, setting emotional boundaries, and understanding that love does not require so many other things. Healthy love is mutual respect and sustainable. So let's talk about it. When it comes to love without overgiving, the first couple sentences, I'm trying to highlight the one that I want y'all to really think about. This loving without overgiving means offering care, compassion, and connection without satisfying your emotional well-being. Let's think about that real quick. Love is a beautiful thing, first and foremost. But I'm real big on, I have to love myself before I could really tap into me saying I love someone or understanding the importance and the real feeling of the emotion of learning to love someone else. When you're offering that care, that's a sign of love. Being compassionate, understanding the empathy and compassion, all that, that's also a sign of love. As well as connecting without sympathizing your emotional well-being. Sometimes we get wrapped up within, I even caught myself a few times, like when people tell me stuff and it's like you're connecting yourself to their situations. Even in my professional world with the kids, I'm like, in my mind, I say it in my mind to them, like people my age and stuff, like, dang, I felt with that too. With your clients, you don't want to do that because it's like, okay, who's helping who? But when it comes to us understanding that without satisfying your emotional needs, we gotta learn how to practice loving ourselves without having all these stimulations that need to come into tie with us having to know how to handle our emotions with setting these emotional boundaries. Like it says here, it's the practice of loving others with staying rooted in yourself. So everything that we want for ourselves, we want others to do for ourselves, we have to do it for ourselves so that we can pour it out into the world with having that compassion, having the empathy, having the signs of showing being caring, and having that connection. Because overgiving happens when love turns into self-neglect. Now, self-neglect is something that we don't really hear about much, or we don't really take the time to really examine on. And for example, going back to if I would have still gave you guys the episodes while I'm dealing with a real heavy situation in the process of grief really hitting heavy, that's me self-neglecting. Yes, because I have a business. You have a business. You're a business owner, everything you have, like off in Norbit, Retribution was like, she had a reputation to maintain. Everybody knew that she looked good and all that stuff. But, like I say all the time, superheroes, the hustlers, whatever title you hold yourself, CEO, bosses, we even have our days, regardless of the titles you hold or not. Us being humans, we have our days. We have the right to take breaks. We have the right to separate ourselves. We have the right to do what's necessary for us, because if we don't, we're self-neglecting our stuff. We're self-neglecting ourselves. With us overgiving, it happens with love turning into self-neglect. The more and more we pour to others and we don't pour into ourselves, it's a sign of neglect. The more and more you're doing for others and you're not doing it for yourself, right there is a sign of neglect. And you don't want to fall into that trap. So take it from me, y'all. Practicing it from me. I know it was kind of weird. Like, dang, I know y'all was like, where's E? But now I'm telling y'all, I had to practice understanding to deal with my emotions and don't let them just fly. And I know that's another thing too that has you guys like, huh? Because that's another thing that impacts with setting emotional boundaries. Sit in the emotions real quick. When you're frustrated, sit in the emotion of frustration. When you're happy, embrace on it. When you're in a loving era, all that, embrace on it. And I know it sounds crazy, but y'all, my therapist told me that, whatever type of emotions you're going through, let it soak in, like season it and enjoy it, or not even just enjoy it. Overall, understand why it's happening and let it happen. But don't let it happen too far. Don't let it get too far. And the reason why is because we have our episodes, we don't really give ourselves the time to really understand why these things are happening with our emotions so that we'll be able to set these emotional boundaries when it comes to love without overgiving. And sometimes, and that impacts with self neglect. That more and more we don't really pay attention to it, it's self neglect. So when we do it, it's not going to be neglect. It's self appreciation, self awareness, and things of that nature. As well as when you give past your limits, ignoring your needs, or feeling responsibility for others' emotions. Like I said, that would have been me. And I didn't want to do that because, like, yes, I love y'all. Y'all love me, whatever the case may be. But, like I said, I'm raw and uncut. You wouldn't want me to give you a vibe that, you've been waiting for and wanting to get into. And it's like, it's bull. Like, this ain't it. Like, you're not giving me what I want. And that's okay. Because sometimes people need to recharge. And this is where you have to not pass your limits no more. Stand tall and firm on your limits, as well as don't ignore your needs. Please don't ever ignore your needs. Don't ignore your needs. I know sometimes it's hard to even speak up and be like, I'm going through this, I'm going through that. But don't ignore your needs. Don't do it. Don't do it, because that's right there is helping you also set the emotional boundaries for yourself. We have to step into understanding who we are first with our emotions before we can step base into helping others with their emotions. As well as with us, don't go past our limits, don't ignore our needs or feel responsible for others' actions, cuz I'm not doing that no more. Even with my students, I'm not responsible for their actions. I'm not, because they know what's right and wrong for them. They know what they can take, what they can't take. As a person that's there to provide for them, like for me, I'm here to provide y'all with the tools that I can. I'm not responsible for what happens, because you take it how you want to take it and you address it how you want to address it. You dress it up how you want to address it, because that's how you want things to go within your boundaries. I'm giving you things that can help you, and you can take it and run with it, or you may be like, I'm going to save it for next time, or things of that nature, He can't control nobody. You have to control yourself. The only thing that us humans can do is give and pour out knowledge, and people can take the jewels. If they can't, okay, it is what it is. As well as, too, when it comes to loving without overgiving, meaning, you got to honor your capability, setting emotional boundaries, and understand that love does not require, like, so many other things. Like, it doesn't require me to have to, how do I want to say this, y'all? I don't want to say it in the rudest way possible. Understand that love does not require, I don't want to say separation, but it doesn't require, let me say this. Sometimes when we do stuff, it doesn't require me to give the full story. It's like when we say yes or no. That's the answer right there. Sometimes the one word sentence is the answer right there. Open-ended, closed questions is the answers right there. And sometimes when it comes to us in this topic of, in this theme, impacting the topic of soft power, loving ourselves without losing ourselves, when it comes to love without overgrowing, as well as setting emotional boundaries, I have to understand that love does not require me to keep going in depth if someone is not doing the same for me. You got to match vibes sometimes and match energies, or sometimes you got to go higher. I don't like really going low, because like we've been there, done that, went low. What am I going to go low for? Because once you low, all you want to do is go up top. So, I got to set the boundaries. We got to set the boundaries, understand like, our emotions comes first. We come first. We got to handle these things. I got to put me first. You got to put yourself first. And you're going to do that. And I know you can do that, because this is the start of you understanding that love is healthy. It's beautiful, amazing. It's respectful. It's substantial. It's it's smoothing and all those things like that. Don't let nothing or no one tell you otherwise, because you know the definition. Sometimes people's definitions may not be the same as your definition of love. Your definition of love may be totally different of what the definition I just told you of versus what my definition of love is. You know? So when it comes to what does love without giving really mean, you gotta set these boundaries of understanding who you are first before you can understand, like, but you can understand what it is that you may be doing that you're doing to others when it comes to love without giving, with over giving so much of your time and energy to people that do not maybe deserve it. So who is impacted? Who needs to hear this message? First of all, this is for everyone that's going through a time right now that they feel like they're not setting emotional boundaries for themselves when it comes to love. They feel like they're in love. They're giving so much love without, we're giving love without over giving. It's like they're giving so much love and it's over giving, it's overbearing, it's annoying, it's toxic, it's doing so much that it's hurting you and you're not being able to set emotional boundaries for yourself. This message is for people who love deeply, show up consistently, and often feel emotional drained afterwards. It is especially impacted for caretakers, helpers, empathy people, people pleasers, and anyone who struggles with guilt when setting boundaries. If you ever felt exhausted in relationships, afraid to say no, or worried that setting limits means you're selfish, this episode speaks to you. So let's deep dive a little bit into this, because this is where it gets to the nitty gritty of, okay, now this is where the fun part begins. So like I mentioned, this is for anyone that's going through things that feel like, I don't know how to do it. Let me tell you why. This message is for people who love deeply. Let's talk about loving deeply. Love hit different when it's someone that you love so much or something you have a love for. If you don't give yourself the praise, not even just the praise, but give yourself the breaks and all those things that are needed, you're not setting the emotional boundaries for yourself. And today, my friend, I want you to set these emotional boundaries for yourself before it gets you into a place where you are stagnant and you are burnt out. Trust me, I've been there, I've done that. I love so many people so deeply, and then I found out it wasn't the same. It hurted me. Yes, it did. It hurted. But I had to understand, that's just who I am, and that came with my territory. But then I had to step back and think too. I gotta set my emotional boundaries, because if you're not doing the same for me, why should I do it for you? And yes, it's so hard, but you have to understand that a lot of people do not need your energy. You can't give everyone the vibe. Can't give everybody a vibe, because once they're used to the vibe, they like, oh, now I got him or her in the bag. Them and they like, this is my little. You know how to say that the little issue, little yeah. No, I'm not. I'm not your property. I gave you something that I thought you could handle because you said you needed it. But instead it wasn't a need, it was a want at the moment. A need is something that's going to help you along the way. A want is something temporary. A need is something that is going to help you so many ways. And sometimes when it comes to loving people deeply, it hurts so much, as well as showing up consistently. I was real big of that friend, that family member that was always there showing up for people consistently. But when it was my turn, everybody went ghost. I'm like, okay, so everybody's James St. Patrick's now? Like, where everybody at? But it also helped me to understand that I have to set my emotional boundaries, and I have to understand that love without overgiving. I was overgiving so much love. I was loving so deeply on people that did not do the same for me, as well as I was showing up consistently for people that was not even showing up for me, or not even giving me explanations on why and things of that nature. And as you get older, you understand these things, and sometimes you even get numb, because it's like, dang, when you've been through it so much, it's like you heard it all before. It's like, why do I want to keep doing that? And I want to tell you, my friend, don't regret anything. And I don't regret having that love and feelings for those people. I don't. But it also helped me to understand that I got to set my emotional boundaries. You have to set it. We have to set these emotional boundaries for ourselves, because if not, it's not going to go right. And we're going to keep giving these people the energy that they so-called say they need, but it's actually a want. It's not their needs. This is wants. Like, it's temporary. Want is a temporary. A need is something forever. I feel like you need this. Like, you need utilities, all this stuff. Like, I want, like, some people want Chanel and all that stuff. That's a want temporarily, because y'all can return it or whatever. But I need utility. I need water. I need, food, things like that. So, yeah. As well as often feeling emotional drained afterwards. I felt, whoo, I I always feel emotionally drained after I was being the person that I was, just being the loving, caring person that I am. And I'm going to say was because for some people, it was a little bit too much. And this is where I learned that I had to set the boundaries real quick. When people actions speak louder than their words, this is where you have to set the boundaries of your emotions. Because you go to see, okay, I'm loving this person and doing so much things for them out of love, but I'm over giving my love. That they weren't giving me nothing in return. They said love so much that they didn't show it. Did it hurt? Yeah. But once I stepped up and said what I had to say, it helped me understand that, things happen for a reason. People come in your life for seasons, and some are here for reasons. And sometimes even the reasons have to be seasons. And sometimes the seasons may turn into your reasons. It all depends on how this game of life comes into play. But when it comes to love, you have to be very careful and very, very, very able to see who's for you, what's not for you, what's for you to protect within your boundaries, and what's not for you in your boundaries. And most importantly, what is healthy for your emotions and what's not healthy for your emotions. And I know it's hard because you don't want to think that way within people you love and family members and stuff. But you got to think, love is supposed to be respectful. Love is supposed to feel comfortable. Love is supposed to feel whole, healed. It's supposed to be beautiful, satisfying, all these amazing things. But if it's the opposite, it's disgusting, it's disrespectful, it's draining, it's drowning. That's when it comes to you have to come to grips that when we keep loving and loving and loving on people and doing stuff out of love, and then once we do it, and then we get this sense of okay, we get this feeling of I feel emotional drained afterward. And it's because I put all my emotions out there for this person or this thing. And then they feel like they gave me their tail to kiss. And it's what is going on? That right there, my friend, I don't care how big or small the situation is. If you get that sense of urge that you feel as though you're emotionally drained after pouring so much love into something or someone, that's a sign right there. You need to set them boundaries. Set the emotional boundaries right here, right now. Don't wait until, let me give them a chance. They may be having a bad day. No, actions speak louder than words. And if their actions are saying a whole different thing, let them have it. And you just give them sign off on a good note. Even if it may be hard to do. We have to sometimes even challenge our inner thoughts for us to not go off on people. And I have to learn that. And I'm learning that because when you're a person that loves so deep for someone or something, and it's that thing or something really had you messed up, and it's now I'm losing my love for it. It's hurting. It's hard. You gotta understand, look, I come first before I put you through this. And no, I come first. Because when I was there for you, you gave me a tail to kiss. Now you see me walking away. Now you say it's a need again. No, we're done with that. We're done with that. Because this is also important for all the people out there that have jobs that impact with showing up daily, having a deep feelings for this, consistency in all this, caregivers, helpers, empathetic people, people pleaser, anyone who's struggling with guilt when setting boundaries. First and foremost, I want to say this, not only with those titles, but you as a human being, do not feel ashamed to set boundaries for yourself. I don't give a damn who it is. Sometimes it hurts when you have to set the boundaries on your immediate family because it's damn, I lived in a house with y'all. We made a house out. We made this house to a home and things of this nature. But you got me fucked up. You got me fucked up if you think you're going to keep talking to me any type of way. You're going to treat me like this and display that this is love. Oh, hell no. Because you got to understand that you got to set the boundaries, emotionally boundaries for yourself. You got to know what's love is for you and what's not. And when it comes to love without overgiving, you gotta think too. If I put so much love and empathy and emphasis and stuff, compassion, all this stuff on this person, they do the same for me. I'm loving this person and overgiving and playing my damn part. I need to step the hell back and let them figure out who the hell I am and what the hell's going on, and need to help them understand who the hell they are. I know it hurts y'all because I've been there and done that. I never would have thought I had to say some things to people that I never thought I had to say to them. But sometimes you gotta think, Now, if you feel like you overplaying your part, my friend, that little voice in your head or whatever, that's not lying to you. It's not lying. Because that voice helps you, that third eye, whatever theories y'all have going on for yourself, that right there is telling you, look, you may think you know everything, but look, I know everything for you. And this is to save your ass. Not even just save your ass, but it's protecting you from something that's going to hurt you in the long run. And I thank God for the little voice in my head, because she has helped me in so many ways. That's crazy that I was watching a video for my assessments class on a lady who felt like her inner voice she felt like it was triggering her. But in reality, she said, once I've been going through things, stuff like that, it helped me. Even when she talked about it in third person, she was like, it was weird as hell, but it helped me so much to understand that it wasn't lying. And some people be like, I hear voices in my head, they think people are crazy. No, everybody has that little voice in their head. If there's multiple, then that's something different. But if it's one little voice in your head that sounds like your voice, you're not crazy. That's your inner thoughts are telling you and helping you navigate things that is important. As well as with this, setting emotional boundaries. When you're going through hell and high waters with somebody and you want to make the best out of it, but they're not making it no better, that little voice in your head is telling you so many things, or one key thing for you to understand that, look, do you want to keep going through this, or do you want to flourish in so many ways? Pick your choice. And sometimes you gotta play chess and not checkers with people, especially when it comes to protecting yourself at all costs. Set the emotional boundaries for yourself right here and right now, and don't let nothing or nobody try to steer you in the wrong direction. Because the more and more you love without overgrowing, the more and more you're being able to set the emotional boundaries for yourself, my friend. The more and more you understand that, yes, I love you, but I'm not going to overgive my part no more. I'm displaying this love that I have for you, and I'm not overgrowing, I'm not overstepping the boundaries, because you know why? I set my emotional boundaries for myself. It's like love, sometimes it has no limits, but sometimes you have to put limits on it. Family, friends, or whoever, even with yourself, your career, all that. Sometimes you got to put limits and limitations on things, because it gets to a point in your life where it's like, I'm on this road to success. I'm on this road for healing, for me to be all these things I want to do. Why would I want chaos in my shit? You don't want that. So if you ever felt exhausted in a relationship, my friend, this right here is a sign for you to understand that you're in the process of you're stepping into, oh, I love you, but I'm not going to keep over giving and overstepping my part, because you know why? I'm setting my emotional boundaries today. You don't like it? Oh, well, we don't have to be in this relationship, or we don't have to have this friendship. And also when it comes to afraid to say no, my friend, please don't be afraid to say no. Do not be afraid to say no. Yeah, Brent told us sometimes don't say no, but sometimes you have to say it, especially with that little voice or whatever in your head telling you, I don't think you should do it. I don't think it's a good move. Nope. Nope, nope, nope. Nope. Hell no. Whatever you got to say, how hard the no is, that right there shows you, especially if, you know what else too, people fail to realize, not only in our emotions, it gets to us too, the physical attention and reaction we get in our hands and our bones and the fingers and stuff. Your nerves even tell you too, like, oh hell no, this is not a good idea. Say no. It's like when you say yes, you're excited, you get those butterflies or whatever. Yes, I'm here for it. But with the no, we should not be afraid to say no. We have the right. You have the right. I have the right. We as a whole have the right to say what the hell we want, how we want it, why we want it. We should not have no one in our ear, in the back or whatever, telling us, don't say no. The hell with that. If you feel as though that this is not for your emotional, this is not setting the tone for your emotional boundaries, it's not protecting you, it's not peaceful, it's not loving, it's not all the beautiful things within love, say no and step away from that person. Because you matters, your emotional matters, your emotions matter, everything matters. Because the more and more we love, we learn that, okay, I love you, but I'm not going to overgrow, I'm not going to overplay my part, because you know why? I'm setting my emotions. I'm setting my emotional boundaries, whether you like it or not, hate it or love it. I'm doing what's for me, and I'm doing what's best for me, because I'm entering my soft boy, soft girl, whatever era. And I'm learning in this chapter of my life is to love myself without, losing myself again, hurting myself with other things may be. So don't feel upset to say no, and don't be afraid to walk away from relationships, from people, as well as don't be worried about setting your limits. Don't or it says here, y'all, or worried that setting limits means you're selfish. First of all, going back to, you have to be selfish with you, what matters for you. Be selfish, pop out what is necessary, take control, protect your peace at all costs, and all those other things, y'all. Being selfish at times does not make you a bad person. Because sometimes if you're the person that's always there, people pleasing and always doing all the things that people can't do, you feel like for themselves, but you're always there to be the hero, the superhero, whatever, in the rescue. My friend, yes, you have the ultimate damn right to take a step back and do for you, because you need to set the limits for yourself, especially when it comes to setting emotional boundaries, so you don't have to love without over giving your part. Do not be afraid to set the boundaries for yourself. Even if you gotta pop out when it's necessary, take control and be selfish in the process. And one thing I've learned too, my favorite within the taking control and popping out when I want to, them two together, I ain't gotta make the announcement right away. I do it. I could probably, this thing probably happened 2-3 years, not 2-3 years, 2-3 months ago, 2-3 weeks or days ago. It's my life. I do what I want. It's like, it's my party. I turn if I want to. I'm doing like it's my B day every day, even when I feel like it's today. I know it. Even when today is not my B day, I'm still gonna make the best out of life. And love is one thing that you need to make sure that you're making the best out of in your life, because love is pure. Love is comfortable. Sometimes love can even be blind. But I need you to wake up and open the blinds to understand that, my friend. You got to set the emotional boundaries. Because the more and more you set the boundaries, you'll be able to love without overgrowing and overstepping the boundaries for people. You're in the process of soft power, we're loving ourselves again without losing ourselves again. It's important that we take control of what matters, because in this season, in this year, it's all about you. And within this theme, my friend, you're taking control. You're popping out when you want to. Even if you have to be selfish, if you have to do those three things out of order, in order, whatever, do what's necessary for you. Set the emotional boundaries, especially when it comes to love within your personal life, your professional life, all areas of your life, because you know what's for you, and your definition of love may not be the same for everyone, but you have to do what's for you, my friend, and don't let no one tell you it's not, and try to tell you the cookie cutter and all that bull crap. No. You're able and you're obligated to say what you want and do what you want. Say no when it's necessary. And you don't have to have no explanation on why you're saying what you're saying. Stand tall and firm on your emotions, because you know what's best for you. And that little voice in your head, that third eye, whatever little theory y'all have for yourself, knows yourself more than you think you know yourself. Okay? So yeah. What is the benefit? Like, what happens when you stop overgiving? A lot happens. You're on a better, I'm gonna say you're on a better high horse. Your emotions are where it needs to be. You're loving yourself in ways that you never thought you could, and you're just being able to navigate your life in a way that you have been wanting to so long. Once you be able to set the boundaries, to understand that I'm loving myself and I'm loving who's for me, what's for me, without having to love, without overgiving and overdoing my part. Because when you stop overgiving, you reclaim your energy, clarity, and peace. You begin to explore relationships that feel balanced instead of one sided. Emotional boundaries help reduce resentment, burnout, and emotional frustrations. You learn that love can exit without consistent satisfaction. And you start to feel safer, more grounded, and more respected, both by others and by yourself. Loving without overgrowing allows connections to feel nurturing instead of draining. Like I said, guys. So, like I said before I got into it, the benefit, like what's the benefit of it, and what happens when you stop overgrowing, you're able to wake up and smell the coffee of things that really feel lovely to you. Like, you're like, oh my gosh, where was this at in the beginning? Or like, now that I have stepped up and said what I had to say, I feel amazing. I feel like me. Once I stopped doing things for others that wasn't doing nothing for me in return, I'm at peace. You're at peace with your inner self. And I got that little note on my thing, y'all. I'm trying to find it on my reminder, see if it's up here. And let me see if it's up here, y'all. Hold on. Because I got that everything. Oh, yeah. I'm at peace with my inner self. I've been saying that since I was in the 10th grade. I had to find peace. Sometimes I was losing, but you gotta find a peace of mind. You have to be there for yourself. Because if no one gonna do it, you gotta be there for yourself, my friend. In certain situations, we have not certain every situation we gotta be our biggest cheerleader. Even when we have cheerleaders, even when we have moments in our life where we're down and out, sometimes you see who's really there for you, who's not there for you. And I'm gonna say this. Little Dirt song. I don't know the title, but that one line, who told me death was easy? Death is not an easy thing. Grief and all that is not an easy thing. As well as French Montana's song, when I was down and out, people show love, or some may not show love. No, some showed you love, because sometimes people like to see your downfall. That right there can really hurt and beat your emotions up. I know y'all probably like, what does those two have to do with each other? I'm going to tell you how they mix for me. I didn't put everything online. Like, it was hard. Like, I had to put, like, the arrangement stuff on there. That was hard as ever. I was not expecting nobody to say, oh my gosh, you already know. Because the ones that knew, the real ones that my life understood, everybody else was like, even your own family, not your immediate, your outside of your house family, too. They could do things and be like, I don't know how to do it, stuff like that. And that goes to show, too, who's for you and who's not for you. Going back to when you stop overgiving, you reclaiming your energy. I tell you what, my friends, my uncle was real big on love. He taught me patience. He taught me a lot about empathy and compassion in so many ways that, like, I had it, but he helped me learn on so many different ways. That I was able to get rid of some people in my life that I wanted them to be in my life forever because I thought they was reasons. But these people had to turn to seasons because I'm out here showing up, putting things. And one thing I like to say, y'all, is crazy. People be like, what? It's a thing called hush money. And I'm not the type to do no hush money. If I really like you like that, I'm going to spend some money. I ain't going to say we spend a bag or two, but if I really care for you, yes, I'm going to spend some money. I am. That goes to show you, I do. But that's not really what I'm about. Yeah, let's spend some money. No. But it did help me understand too, like, dang, I really spent money on this person. I really did this for this person and stuff. Because when I was younger, y'all, I was real big on if I get older and somebody did me dirty, I'm like, I want all my stuff back. But now I'm older, I'm like, you know what? No, I don't want that back. I did that out the kindness of my heart. So why would I want it back? Let's give an Indian giver. But once I stopped over giving, oversharing, and doing all that, overplaying my part, I reclaimed my energy. I reclaimed the peace and happiness that I needed in my life. And it did hurt for a few days, in the midst of like you stop talking to these people or stop giving them the response or thing that they need, that they need or wants. It's mainly a wants, not a need. They might claim as a need, but baby is mainly a wants. It helped me understand that, that little voice in my head and stuff was telling me all the time, child. In a moment, it felt good, yes. But when you see the signs, like I saw the signs and I opened up my eyes and I understood that this person and I or this thing and I just isn't there anymore. This reason is now seasonal, or this seasonal may be a reason. But all in all, when I stop overplaying and overgrowing and everything, stop overgiving and stop doing so much, I felt at ease. I feel comfortable. And I don't regret nothing. I don't regret one bit of it. And I'm okay with that. And I hope you all feel the same way. Or if you're preparing for it, I wanted to say this, my friend. Sometimes things in our life happens in ways that we don't want it to happen, but we have to let it go. And you have to let it go, let it fly, let it grow. It's like a butterfly. It was a caterpillar. Now it's a butterfly. They have to grow and do their own things too. And you're like a caterpillar that's turned into a butterfly. You're growing each and every day, and you may not think you are, but you are, my friend. We're learning something new every day about ourselves. We're learning what we can take, what we cannot take. And I'm learning that some stuff, certain people are not for me no more. And that's okay. Sometimes like a give and take. But once you understand, like, you're done over giving your part, you're reclaiming energy. clarity and your peace. I'm understanding clearly and moving with clarity. And my peace is the best thing ever. I don't have to hear my phone blow up every 5 minutes on something that I'm not comfortable with. Or hearing drama about things that don't impact with anything I want to, that doesn't have anything to do with me. Or just being surrounded by things that doesn't make, it don't make sense to me, or it doesn't imply with me, or whatever, it don't fly with me. Or just being around someone that I think, okay, in the beginning it was going good, but then towards the end I start seeing their true colors, and it was like, it do sound negative, y'all, but sometimes you gotta turn that negative into a positive. And that's what I'm doing in my life. All the things and people that I overplayed my part, overgave to, I thank them. I thank them because they made me humble and they made me the person I am. Like Future said, y'all gotta listen to Future song Thank You. I think it's on Hendrix 2, no, 3, 3 or 4, that album. Thank you. I thank you because y'all humbled me. Y'all made me humble. Y'all made me hustle more. Y'all helped me with clarity. Help me find the real definition of peace that I needed. Help me find the real peace of mind I needed. But also, y'all help me reclaim energy or gain new energy that I didn't think I needed. And I don't hate no one. Hate is a very strong word. That's one of my very strong words. And love too. I know you're probably like, because you can't say you love someone and the actions don't impact with it. Promise, you can't make promise to people when you're not holding it. Love, hate, promise, and forever. Those 4 words are deep, run deep for me. And even though I don't talk to the people that, maybe I learned I overgave my part stuff to, I still thank them. Still have love from a distance because they helped me in so many different ways. They helped me reclaim my energy. They helped me or reclaim energy, find new energy. They helped me find clarity and be at peace. But they also helped me to experience relationships that felt balanced instead of one-sided. We all been in relationships with family members, friends, whatever. Even sometimes ourselves, we see sometimes we're one-sided ourselves. I found myself a lot of one-sided within friendships. And some family members, it hurt like hell. But like, you know what? I was like, it hurt like hell, but maybe my energy, my love and stuff is not for them. Maybe the love that I have for them is too much for them and is not for them at this moment. That's okay. That's all right, my friend, because you know why? Everything is not for everyone. You're not everyone's cup of tea. And that's okay. That's all right with me. And you should feel the same way with yourself. You're not meant for everyone. And everyone's not going to love you. Everyone's not going to like you. And that's fine, because once you get older and once you see what's for you, you know who's for you, you know what's not for you. Certain things in careers and professions, all that. You see what's your niche and you see what's not your niche. I love the kids, but sometimes you have to find your niche in certain ways. Like fashion and stuff like that. I'm finding my niche in everything. And if I could bring them all together, I will. And I will do that. I love podcasting. I just love this. You got to find what's for you and make sure y'all are aligned with each other and it's not a one side thing. I should not be showing up showing love for you and you're not doing the same thing for me. Right there, the person being selfish, the person's being ignorant, and they're being a user. And I'm going to expose you, and I'm exposing this way of me exposing you is by removing myself, and then everyone will see, where's such and such? Like, what? The favorite line is, they don't fuck with me no more. Why? I don't know. You should know as an adult or as a human being in general. You should know. But it's okay. It's all right, because you have to thank them people. And I'm real big on like the TikTok I seen not years ago, months ago. I told y'all before that a woman said, God does things for a reason. We always appreciate him on the good blessings, but we don't really appreciate him on the bad ones. Like I say, bad times don't last forever, because after every storm there is a rainbow. But we still have to appreciate them bad times, because the bad times have helped us to get some good times. Because some bad times even help us understand that them things that we wanted to happen was not meant to happen, even though we thought it was. But he was like, who? This ain't for you. You think it's for you, but mm-mm. And even a little voice in your head too is like, that's not for you as well. I know it's like, wow. But you don't want no one-sided love. You want equal. We here 50-50. I don't want no 100% and 0%. I don't want no 80-20, 70-30. Are you nuts? 60-40? No, it's 50-50. That's how it is in a friendship, relationship, and all those things like that. It's an effort, a team effort. If you really care for that person, if you feel that way, you're going to do better. You're going to do what's best for them. But at times, too, you got to be like, I can't do this no more. If you can't take it no more, you got to go. And I've learned that, and I'm okay with that. It hurt like hell. But I have to learn that I got to set my emotional boundaries and understand that I have to love without overgiving and overplaying my part because I did it too many times with people. I'm not doing that because once I was able to learn and understand my emotional boundaries, it helped me to reduce, reset, and all that burnout feeling and staying stagnant, emotional fragment, and all that is over, is done with. I'm now at a point in my life where it's like, look, I can catch it, I can take on what's for me and what's not for me. As well as for you, my friend, you will learn that love can exit without the consistent satisfaction. Sometimes it's going to just leave on its own, or you got to leave right away when it's not for you. And you got to start to feel safer. Once you leave, it's like a sign of relief that you were waiting for, but you need it in the long run. And you move once you move and understand more, it's more respect, more love, more beauty into what the importance is of love without overgiving your part and overplaying it by setting the emotional boundaries that's needed. But both by others, you'll understand too that what's for you and what's not for you, and by yourself, because love without overgiving allows connections to feel nurturing instead of draining. We're tired of that. I'm tired of feeling like I'm drained. I'm tired of feeling drowned. I'm tired of feeling like I am giving this person a hell of a hard time. I'm tired of feeling like people are playing with me. And sometimes, y'all, that does impact with self-sabotage. Because I ain't gonna tell you, I ain't gonna lie to y'all. It's some people will say relationships. Most of the dudes, or some of the dudes that I had conversations with, they're gonna tell you that I did a lot of self-sabotaging even with them or with myself because I'm real big on love. And my emotions is one thing you don't play about. And one thing I want to say too before we deep dive some more is do not let no one, I mean no one, I don't care your mother, father, sister, brother, granny, auntie, grandpa, uncle, best friend, nobody tell you to lower your fucking standards for anybody. No, because once you're lowering your standards, that's mean you're lowering your boundaries. I don't care how high your boundaries are. You do not let nobody tell you, "Ooh, your boundaries too high. You too picky. You too bougie." No, that's just me being me because everyone has a story behind why they set the tone for what they have going on, especially with love. We're not doing that no more. We're not loving with giving out so much. We're not getting in return. We're setting the emotional boundaries for ourselves. We're being able to love without overgrowing and overgiving and overplaying our part anymore. So do not let nothing or no one try to tell you that how your standard of stuff is too much. It's too much for you, but it may not be too much for this person as this next person that's going to come into my life. Okay? It's okay to be alone. Trust me, I've been alone for a good while. It's okay. Because it's helping you find yourself too and find a peace of mind and understanding that you're learning what love is for you, as well as to learning how and what is important within setting your emotional boundaries. Huh. Because when should emotional boundaries be practiced? They should be practiced before you be even able to think about stepping into something new or broader with someone else or something in your life, professionally, personally, whatever, things like that. Emotional boundaries are most important before you feeling overwhelmed, not after burnout sets in. You gotta take control right there, right then and there. Don't wait till the burnout episode come like, oh, now I gotta get my shit together. No, one little incident, I don't care how big or small it is. I feel like we need to catch things before they blow up out of proportion. Okay, it's little, all right. This fucked me up a little bit. Now I gotta move smarter, not harder, cause it really get the gab on me. So now I got to do what's necessary for me. And this impacts with practicing the boundaries when you feel obligated instead of willing. I feel like I should be willing. I should not feel obligated. I have to love this person or love something or love this or do something. And it's not sitting right with my emotions. Wrongo. You're giving from guilt or fear of disappointment. First of all, you should never give nothing out of fear, guilt, or disappointment. That right there is a sign. That's all signs of weakness. And people like to play and take advantage of you. And that's when you set the bar low for yourself. When your standards are high, that's when self-esteem come into play. Low self-esteem, all those things come into play, my friend. Don't you ever give yourself or give anything where you think you feel guilty about it. Don't feel guilty about nothing you do because you did it. I don't care if the person in your life don't like it. You did it was for you. As well as out of fear. If I'm scared, I'm staying my black ass somewhere far away. I'm not doing stuff out of fear. No, because that little voice in my head is saying we're scared as hell. We're not doing that. And I go off and do that and hurt myself or hurt me in the end. That's on me. That ain't on the next person. As well as disappointment. If I disappointed myself or I disappointed somebody else, that's their business, not mine. Mainly if I disappointed myself, I'm not doing that. I'm gonna have to recharge and get myself back together. As well as when you notice emotional exhaustion after interactions, it's a vibe all the time. Krishan told y'all that, and that's real. Vibes don't lie at that, especially when there's a vibe going on all the time. Regardless of the vibes are high or low. The bar is going to speak for itself. I'm a real firm believer on vibes don't lie, and it is a vibe going on all the time. Because if I walk in the room and my vibes are pure high, and I hold myself up with my chin held high, and another person theirs is up, but they real conceited and nasty, we're not meant for each other. I'm not meant for you. The best thing you're going to get out of me is a hello, or maybe you won't get nothing at all. Because I have to set my boundaries, my emotional boundaries. Because if I say hello to you and you say something nasty and my emotions go like, do you want to cuss this person out? I'm not going to do that, y'all. But y'all may have this. It's like, do you want to cuss this person out, or do you want to be the right? Do you want the right thing? We have to have those mirror conversations with ourselves. Even if it takes 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 minutes to an hour. You got to do what's best for you because you cannot let nothing or no one screw with your emotional boundaries. And I would be damned if I let someone do that to me again. No, you came too far. We come too far, or we're in this leap of faith right now that we're entering an era where why would I want you to play with me and I don't even play with myself like that? Hello? So when it comes to when you notice emotional exhaustions after interaction with someone or in a function or whatever, the vibes ain't there, get the hell out of there. Because that person and this is not for you. Your emotions is set to a tone where you want nothing but gumballs, raindrops, gummy hearts, all that type of vibe. We don't need no evil Knieven. Girl, boy, whatever. Bye. I'm not with that. And lastly, you're prioritizing others at the extent of yourself. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that no more. I learned that when I got older. When I got into my 20s, I won't say y'all, the pandemic taught me, but when I hit my 20s, my early 20s, I'm in my mid 20s now, that helped me to understand I'm not prioritizing anybody. I'm not prioritizing others at the extent of myself. Why would I putting you first if you're not helping me? That's me setting my standards low and you setting yours higher to make it seem like, oh yeah, I got this person under my wing or on my hip. That's not your trick. Like, come on now. Because all in all, boundaries aren't reaction, they are protecting action of self-care. You're protecting yourself out of all cause. Actions speak louder than words. You're doing what's necessary for you because don't let nothing or no one try to manipulate you into doing something you don't want to do. You have the right to speak on what you want to do. Speak on it. Speak on it. Stand tall and firm on it. I don't care if you're a man, woman, whatever. Stand tall and firm on it and don't let nobody ever try to play with you. I've been there, done that. And sometimes we may feel like it's self-sabotage. But some of the situations I was in, it was self-sabotage because then people ain't do nothing to me. It's just, I had bad experiences. But then sometimes a little thought in my mind's like, hell no. We've been this before. We know the trick. We know the game. We not new to this. We not lames. Huh. We're not that. So you're not going to do that. Okay? So, we're almost there, y'all. Where does this show up most? Like, where does this love without overgiving, setting emotional boundaries show up most in our life? Love without overgiving matters in romantic relationships, maintaining individuals in balance. Now, I haven't been in a relationship in a good while and haven't really took anybody seriously. But I see from my parents, you gotta make sure that you're maintaining your partner and also balancing what's for you, dealing with your emotions as well as making sure you're not overplaying some parts. Okay? Friendships, mutual effort and respect. If we're friends and you're not giving me the mutual respect, the mutual of effort and respect I'm giving you, we're not friends. Family dynamics, honoring limits without guilt. I'm not in my household. I don't reward bad behavior. My mother and father didn't reward bad behavior, so why would I do that with my siblings or with myself? And that helped me to learn within my work. Even when I become a mom, I'm not rewarding bad behavior. Because why? No. Work or caregiving roles, preventing emotional burnout. First and foremost, my friend, as a social worker, intern that's about to be in the field within a couple months from now, sometime this year, my emotions matter. I had to speak up. I felt like, okay, if I speak up, this might. Because in the movies, y'all, and you know, them little theories that people used to say about interns, they don't really get the experience because they're playing the help. Oh, I let it be known because my supervisor I have now, she was like, she felt like I didn't say nothing about what I want and all that stuff. I was like, okay, I want to know the ins and outs of how to do this, how to do that, and just help me run along the way. But I want you to know too, yes, I'm still learning to open up, but my emotions matter. And yes, y'all, sometimes when I was going through what I was going through with my uncle, it was showing up in my work. Like, it's low key sometimes. I was like, I don't care no more. I got bigger fish to fucking fry. Like, what? Like, really? Because, too, like, if y'all giving me this, I'm like, why should I be the one coming in here with gumballs and raindrops, you know? But I was like, you know what? I ain't let this person know. I have needs, I have wants, and I have emotions. As well as with the children. You have to get them have boundaries. Your clients, too. You got to set the emotional boundaries with them. Like, you know what? Every day is something new. Every day is something new. Every day is not going to be the same day. You're not going to learn something. You're not going to learn the same thing every day. You're going to learn something new every day. And that day, one time, y'all, like 2 weeks ago, I want to say, or a week ago, my students seen a side of me that they were so frightened of. But I say, every day is a new day. Today is a new day. It ain't going to be sunshine, gumdrops and rainbows, all that. No, because it gets to a point. It gets to a mother trucking point. As well as self-respect, recognizing your needs as valid. I'm recognizing my needs as valid. If I need to lay down, I need to lay down. Especially when it's that time of the month for us ladies. It hurts like hell to have to miss out. But it's like, look, my health or put myself in danger while making sure this is intact. No. So when it comes to how this show up most in our life, boundaries shape how love flows and not how love exists. It shapes how it flows, not how it exists. And we are in charge. We're the captain of the ship, the boat, whatever y'all prefer for yourself. Don't let nothing or no one try to play with you or dictate you. Because if it's not being given how you're giving it out, they're not receiving it, and they're not doing it the same way or a little bit harder, it's not for you. It's not. It's not. It's not. And lastly, my friends, why is this important? Why does setting emotional boundaries change relationships? Because you ain't loving no more without these limits. We love with no limits. Mary told you, said before, she loving without no limits. She's loving without the limits. Because love without boundaries leads to like resentment, exhaustion, and self-abandonment. If it's not pure love, real love, all that stuff Mary said too, what are we doing? What am I doing? What is this? Emotional boundaries teaches others how to love without costing yourself. I'm not loving on nobody and it costs me something or costs something to love for something. No, Because when you set boundaries, you shift from survival-based love to intentional love. You get the real feeling of, okay, this is love. What's that TikTok, y'all? Y'all like, this is love. Y'all know that TikTok. If you don't know, somebody, Jennifer said it too. Oh, this is love. This is real love. It's so many songs. Look them up, y'all. Shoot. You stop confusing overgiving with loyalty and start practicing love rooted in self-respect. Boundaries don't push people away. They create healthier, longing, lasting connections. Love that costs your peace is not love. It's it's overextended. It's overextension. I'm sorry, y'all. Overextension. Love that costs you your peace is not love. It's overextension. It's exhausting. It's not there. It's full of crap. We don't need that. You don't need it. We don't want it. And we not barking like we want it either. And you better not bark like you want it. You better not. You better leave that person right where he, she, they at. Okay? And going back to the quote of the week / the day, softness is not a weakness. It's strength with intentions. And I hope you now understand what's the importance of this. Okay? So, I thank y'all for vibing in and tapping in whatever you prefer with me. Because I want y'all to remember that today, remember that loving yourself, including knowing when to pause, say no, and choosing balance. As well as you don't have to earn love by exhausting yourself. Don't ever dim your light for someone to get something in return. Because it's not going to be vice versa. You know pure love and real love when you see it. You are allowed to love fully and protected with energy. You are allowed and you are guaranteed. You're going to be guaranteed to be loved properly. As well as balanced love is powerful love. And don't let nothing or no one try to dim your light or try to play on you. And I want you to don't forget that, y'all. Okay? So yeah, I'm back. When I let y'all know if something else happens again. And I want y'all to understand that as we end February and enter March, we're still going to talk about the importance of us within love. But I want you to understand that soft power is key. We're still learning how to love ourselves without losing ourselves. And I hope that this Bible today has honestly opened your eyes as well as help you understand that you're important. You're learning how to love without overgiving too much love that you're not receiving, because we're in this elements era of our life that we're setting emotional boundaries for ourselves that is needed. Not a want, it's needed. It's guaranteed and it's needed for the soul. Mentally, emotionally, physically, all that, but mainly emotionally. Okay? So I hope you all have enjoyed this vibe of the day. I miss you all so very much. I know I took some time up, but it's deep. It runs deep when you have a lot going on. Like I say, when I have the mic in my face and the camera is like, I can't be stopped. And I love what I do. Okay? So y'all, please, I hope y'all enjoy the rest of the days that we have in February. Please remember that you got this. Take it one day at a time. Love without over giving. Don't do too much. Don't overplay your part. And do not accept one-sided things. And don't just take crumbs. And don't dim your light for no one or over. And don't downplay yourself and boundaries. Okay? Don't ever do that. Don't you forget it. Okay? I love you all so very much. Please be safe out here. Enjoy these days of February. Enjoy life. Enjoy yourself. Take breaks when it's necessary. Do what's necessary for you and do the things that you have been putting on the back burner. Do what's needed for you with impacting. The key for you to understand soft power is key, because you're still in the season of love, learning how to love ourselves again without losing ourselves. Okay? I love you all so very much. I cannot wait for you guys to hear from me for the beginning of March. And I wish you all nothing but the best. Stay safe, be blessed, and remember, it's a vibe all the time. Okay? Bye.